Everybody. Thank you all for attending this webinar today, and thank you, EDT, for arranging it. What I plan to do is just go through a brief PowerPoint just to give you an idea about GTX, what we do. But the main presentation will be the actual software itself. So I'll be doing a live demonstration showing you the capabilities of GTX RasterCAD and what it can do for your customers. So myself, my name's Gordon Lewis. I'm the General Manager for GTX Europe. I've been with the company since 2001, so coming up to 25 years with GTX. And just to sort of summarize what we do, we specialize in raster and hybrid editing and raster-to-vector conversion software for scanned images. So within the software, you can, as Saurabh said, you can clean up, you can edit, and you can also convert. So it's all depending on what the end user wants to do with their drawings. But the tools are available there so that you can actually intelligently manipulate the scanned data. Just to give you an idea, who needs GTX? Customers that have got old scanned drawings. So they've got old archive plans that they've had scanned in, and then it's, okay, what do we want to do with them? Do we want to digitize them, i.e. convert them to CAD? Or do we just want to manipulate the images and keep them either as a scanned image, a TIFF file, or we can actually convert them to PDF files? The idea of the software is if you've got somebody, a draftsman or an engineer that's actually physically redrawing or tracing the old drawings, this is a very, very time-consuming process. So with GTX, what we can do is we can convert the lines, arcs, circles, CAD geometry and the text into vector entities, so that then you can then use it as a DWG or save it as a CAD file. But one of the strengths that we are finding is because we've now developed an application to run within BricsCAD, we have a lot of customers still using the Autodesk products. So if users are looking to go from AutoCAD and raster design to BricsCAD, then GTX offers the raster design capabilities, well, added capabilities, so that users can still work with their scanned drawings the same as they did with AutoCAD and raster design. They can now do it with BricsCAD and GTX. Obviously, we are an Autodesk developer as well, so we still have a product which is fully compatible with the AutoCAD products.
Design an antenna, and after designing, you want to place that antenna over somewhere. Like if you are a road in the street, if you are a
everyone kindly mute yourself. Thank you.
Sorry. Sorry, I thought that was a question. So yes, we have various platforms that we now support rather than single CAD applications. The industry sectors that we cover, predominantly anyone that has a scanned drawing, anyone that has scanned images or old drawings that they want to work with. Predominantly, we are very strong in automotive, transport, utilities, local government, Ministry of Defence. It basically anybody, like I say, that has an old drawing that they want to manipulate or do some work with. Some of our existing customers, just a brief snapshot of some of our customers that actually use the software. Some of them actually overlap with the slide that Saurabh showed earlier. So some quite well-known names in that list. What is raster and vector? I'll just go through this briefly. Raster is basically a series of dots on the screen that presents an image. So it looks like a circle. You can't do anything with it. It's just made up of dots. And the only information you have is the resolution. With CAD or vector data, it has a radius, it has a center point, it has a thickness. You can assign layers to it and various other properties. So you're talking raster data is very, very limited. Obviously, vector data, you can assign lots of various properties to it. We have multiple ways of selecting the raster data. There are some software out there like Paintbrush or Paint or something like that, that you mask over a line. So if you want to erase a line or work with some data, then basically you're just coloring a white square over the top of the line. With that, obviously, you end up breaking the line, so you can't physically select the line and manipulate it. But with GTX, we have these intelligent object picking methods where we can physically pick the data and manipulate it as a line, as an arc, as a circle. So we're not overdrawing, we're not converting and then working with it. We actually pick the raster data as you see it on the screen. Hybrid editing is a way that users can manipulate the drawing through the stages. So you have a combination of raster and vector. So you might not want to convert the whole drawing in one go. You might want to manipulate a certain part of the drawing and then work your way through it over a period of time. So you'll end up having a combination of the scanned image and the vector data. So what you then need to do is have a combination of a DWG and a TIFF that XREF and follow each other around. But within the new software that we have the ability now to embed the scanned image into the DWG so that you only have one file that follows each other around. We can do various types of conversion. We can do CAD conversion, which is lines, circles, and arcs. We can do contour conversion as well. So that's like polylines and splines. It will trace the polyline throughout the shape. And we also do outline conversion as well. So shapes, people use it for cutting out door panels or seat coverings or signs or something like that. So if you want to trace around the shape of a part and then send it to like a CNC machine, then you have the ability to actually trace around the edge as a closed polyline, and then that can get then sent to a CNC machine for the shape to be then cut out. We can also do text conversion as well. So we can convert the raster text into proper editable CAD text. The software trains a file up on the characters, because you could have handwritten characters, you could have touching characters, you could have lots of different types of text on the drawing, depending on who's edited it in the past or redrawn over the top of it. So we train up a character recognition file to recognize the shape and the characters to then use that as a proper editable CAD text. We do various types of products. So we do RasterCAD, which is the main entry-level product. So that allows you to clean up and edit the scanned image. We then do RasterCAD Plus, which allows us to clean up, edit, and then convert. RasterCAD supports basically AutoCAD, BricsCAD, and ZW. We also have a standalone product called ImageCAD. So that's based on the AutoCAD OEM. So that's for people that don't have BricsCAD, AutoCAD. They might have SolidWorks, ProE, CATIA, other CAD applications. So we can support various different customer needs. And like I say, we are fully 100% compatible with these CAD applications. So if you install GTX, it sits within the CAD environment and you have the controls that you need. Just to go through, like I say, main strengths that we have, wide range of input and output formats. So mainly TIFF, sometimes cows, PDF. The one of our main strengths as well is the software is easy to use. The icons and the commands look very similar to CAD. So if you're used to using AutoCAD or BricsCAD or any CAD application, it should be fairly familiar and fairly easy to pick up. So enough of the PowerPoint. What I'll do is I'll just go through a quick demonstration on what the software can do, what it looks like, and then if anyone has any questions, if anybody wants to know any further information or what other commands can do, just let me know and I'll try and answer those questions as I go. So can everyone, hopefully everyone can see my screen okay. So this is BricsCAD 2026. So this is the latest version from BricsCAD. So you see you normally have your normal BricsCAD commands. So you got your ribbon, you got all your CAD commands. So when you install GTX, it sits within the same environment. So we have our own ribbons where you have all of the commands that you might want to use with regards to open and save, editing, conversion, and everything else. We also support the light and dark color schemes. So if I change it to light, then we change to light. If I change it back to dark, everything goes back to dark. So we support the new light and dark color schemes within BricsCAD. And we also have various toolbars that we can display, which is a combination of the ribbon. So it's all down to how users want to use the software. They can either type the command, you can pick it from the ribbon, or you can open it from a main toolbar. So this main toolbar has all of the commands that people are probably most likely to want to use or, you know, work with within the software. So the first thing that I want to do is open up a scanned image. So in BricsCAD, what you can do is you can say insert, and then you can attach an image that way. But with GTX, what we can do is if I say quick attach, and then I'm just going to open up a scan drawing that we have. What we do is we open up the image, we put it onto our own layer, and then we give it a color. So we create this raster layer and we give it a color red. So everything that you see in red is a scanned image. Anything else that you want to do, like draw anything on the top in CAD, will be done on a different layer. This is editable. You can change this in the configuration file. You can change the name, you can change the color. It's entirely up to the user's preference. So what I'll do, I'll just move that out of the way a bit. So what you can see, we got a scanned image. If I zoom in, there's lots and lots of speckles within the drawing. If I look around, you know, it's not a clean drawing. So the first thing that you want to do is clean the image up. So we have a command called despeckle. So that will actually give you a speckle size, and then you can edit the drawing that way. Or we have a command called clean. And what it does, it shows you in green everything that's going to be erased from the drawing. So if I zoom into certain parts, you can see it's left larger chunks of raster behind. That could be text, it could be a decimal point, it could be some geometry on the drawing. But because we're still in the selection mode, I can actually keep going around, draw a box around the items and say, right, add them to the selection. So everything that's red is going to be left behind. Everything that's green is going to be removed. You can see there that it's picked up some of the data from the circle because obviously it's broken, but we have the option to add and remove. So I can say remove from the selection, put it back to red, and then that's going to be kept behind. And then obviously I can go around and say add some more. So once you're happy, hit return, and then you've got a clean drawing. So now you actually can read the text, you can see what the geometry is, and it's a lot cleaner and a lot easier way to view the drawing. So that's a quick method on cleaning up the drawing. We can turn the image, deskew, we can erase and crop various other items on the drawing. So I'm just going to open up a new drawing. I'm going to open up a mechanical drawing. Like I say, it doesn't matter what type of drawing it is that you want to use. So here we have a scanned image. I can't do anything with it. It's just scan data. First thing I want to do is make sure the image is in the right orientation. So I do a turn and I turn it through 90 degrees. Oops, sorry. So now the image is in 90 degrees. You can see that the image isn't quite square within the drawing frame. So what I want to do is deskew it. And I pick all of the data. It says keep selecting. When I don't, everything's gone green. So it then says give me a reference line. So it could be the line along the edge of the drawing border, or it could be a center line within the drawing. So I've now deskewed the image. And then what I can do to clean it up a bit more is I can crop around the edge, so I can take away all of the unwanted data around the drawing. So everything inside the box is going to be kept, everything outside is gone. So I've deskewed and I've basically cropped the drawing. So what I'm going to do now is just show you some raster editing. So this is going to be some commands to do with the raster data. So some people might want to do it after they've converted, but it's easier sometimes to change and manipulate the data before you convert. So we have a hole here, whatever angle that is. And what I want to do is I want to bring it up through 90 degrees. So what we can do is we can say rotate. And then what I do is I use these IOP selection methods to say, right, I want to pick a line. So I choose the line from here to here. I now want to pick out the hole as well. So I change that to a window, which is inside. So what this one will do is it will pick the data that's all on its own within that box. So it's selected that data. I don't want to pick any more. So I hit return to go through the command. It says, right, give me a base point. Well, that's about there. And what's the angle? So I say R for reference. So I say, right, this is my reference angle and this is my new angle. Do I want to delete the old objects? Yes. So it's now moved it round through to 90 degrees. But that's still as a scanned image. I haven't converted it. I haven't done anything to the drawing. What we can also do is move items around. So I can say move, and because these are joined, I want to use like a cutting window. So I draw a window around the data that I want to cut out. So I'm going to move this item here, and I'm going to move it from there to there. We can make copies of items as well. So we can do single copies, or we can do a multiple copy. So I want to do a copy of this thread here. And I want to do a copy from there to there. So I've added a new thread, and now I want to move my item back. So I say move. And because this is all on its own now, I can pick it in one window. Oops, used the wrong one. There again, move inside, pick the whole item, and I can say, right, I want to move it back from there to there. So I can copy, I can move, but like I say, this is all still as a scanned image. I haven't converted it at all or anything. Here, I might want to put these holes on an array. So we can copy, and I can say, right, okay, I want to copy that and move it from there to there. I might want to do multiple copies and say, right, do a copy there, 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 there. Or to make it accurate, I can make an array of this item. So I'll just erase these items that I put there. So I can say array. I pick the item I want to make an array of. And it says, what do you want to do? Rectangular or polar? I want to do rectangular. It's 2 rows by 2 columns. And because I've already measured it, I think the gap, the distance between each item is going to be 50 mil. No, it's not. It must be in inches. 1.8. So I'm going to do that again. So I pick the item, 2 rows by 2, and I want to do 1.9 by Okay, so now it's done an array of those items that distance apart. So it's a very quick tool to make changes to the drawing. So what I could do now, this could be my new drawing. So I could then either say save it as a raster file, a TIFF, or I could say save it as a PDF, and then that's your new drawing. We also do lots of different raster editing tools, like we can scale the image, we can set the coordinates for the image, so we can scale it to a specific line. We can offset, mirror. So as you see, all of these icons here are very, very similar to what you see within the CAD. Rotate, mirror, move. So if people are looking at it, they can see exactly what the command is, and you get like a tooltip that appears just to say what type of command it is that you want to do on the drawing. So moving on, I'm going to open up another drawing just to give you an idea that it doesn't matter the type of drawing that we work with. So this is a building layout. So it's a TIFF file. Can't do anything with it, but I might want to make some changes to the drawing. So if I zoom in, actually, I'm going to do a deskew on it first, just to make sure it's square. I'll do a deskew on the drawing. Right, so the first thing I want to do is if I come into this area here, you've got a load of speckling, which is covering up certain parts of the drawing. And like I say, if you were to convert this, this will be made up of lots and lots of little dots. So I want to erase. And if I use this inside selection, and then I draw a window around that, everything that's all on its own and not touching anything else in that box will be highlighted, and then I can get rid of it. The doorway is broken. So this arc here, when you convert it, will be made of 2 arcs. So what I can do is I can say change an arc. So this will be like repairing the arc. I give it a start point, a middle point, an end point. So it's highlighted the arc. I give it a new center point and a new end point. And then what it's done, it's repaired the arc. So now that will be 1 arc. This line here is all broken up, made up of lots and lots of little lines. So I might want to repair that. So I say change a line, and then I pick my line and I stretch it through to where I want the line to be. So now that will be a solid line. I can draw lines as well. So I can draw a raster line from say there to there, because there should be a line there. So I can draw raster lines on there. But it's to say, basically, you might need to do some tidying up or some enhancing of the drawing prior to converting it. So you might want to do that first. Another thing that you might want to do is these 2 rooms, I want to make them into one. So I say erase, I pick a line. So I say, right, I'm going to take this line here, which is a wall. I'm going to take that line there. I can then change it to a window, pick that and pick that. So that's everything I'm going to erase from the drawing. I then want to move the room number to the middle. And now I want to repair the broken wall. So I change it from there to there, there, to there. So I've now to the old room number. So I can say change the text. So I select the text that I want to change. I then give it a height. And then I say 3108-09. It links into the text editor, so you can adjust your font, you change some styles, things like that as well. So now I've made reference to the old room number. So like I say, this is all being done as a scanned image. So like I say, if I say save as PDF, I'll put it on my desktop, say save. Now that's the PDF that I have of the new drawing. So you can see the changes that I've made. So like I say, we can change it, save it as a PDF. Like I say, there's lots more tools that we offer. You can draw arcs, circles, rectangles. We can type raster text. So there's lots and lots of other features within the software, but one of the main ones really is going from raster to vector. So I'm going to create 2 layers. I'm going to call one outline, give it a nice bright blue color. And I'm going to create another one called text. Give it a nice purple color. So what I want to do now is whatever is my current layer is what I'm going to convert onto. So I can set my current layer outline. And what I want to do is I want to convert as much of the drawing layout or the building layout as I can. So I say raster to vector. I can use a method called fence, which is just basically drawing a line through the middle of the drawing. And what it'll do is it will follow those lines until it finds a break. So everything that's green is now going to be converted. I'm still in the selection method, so I can keep adding. So at the top here, there's obviously some breaks in the line, but I can keep adding. When I'm happy, I can hit return. And we get 2 options. You can do CAD, lines, circles and arcs, or contour, which is just polylines and splines. So I want to do CAD. I want to keep all my lines orthogonal. I don't want to convert to a color because I've already set my layer. You can do line styles, arrowheads, things like that. I don't want to save the raster. Say OK. So now everything that you see there is now CAD. So these are lines, circles, arcs. Everything that you see in blue is now DWG. So it's a very, very quick way to get all of that data into a CAD form. If you were to zoom in and zoom out and trace over that, I'd probably still be somewhere down here trying to work on it. Whereas it's a very, very quick way of getting your information into a DWG. I'll just make a quick copy of this text. Change that. So I'll just make a quick copy of that and I'll convert it using exactly the same method. You can read it, but it's just made up of lines, circles and arcs. It's not proper editable text. So what we can do is we can convert the text in the drawing to proper editable text. So I set my layer and then what I do is I go into the configuration part of it. So this is where we set up the input and output sizes for the text. So I'm going to say 0.12 and 0.1. So I'm going to add various different text heights. I want to do character recognition. I don't want to save the raster. And I'm going to open up a file that we've already trained on the software or on this particular drawing. But what you can do is you can set it so that it will start from scratch. And then what it will do is it will train it up on the actual drawings itself. So this is a file I've already trained, but I want to keep on training it. So I set the train to it. So now what I do is I say, right, I want to convert to text. So I'm going to just pick a couple of items of text. It's seen a K, it thinks it's a K, and it's 97% sure. So like I say, this is a file that's already been trained. So I say, yes, that's correct, that's okay. An O, N, T, O, R, 3, 1, 0, 8, dash, 0, 9, 6, 2, 5. So now it's converted that to proper editable text. To make it more automatic, what I'll do is I'll adjust my threshold to say 85%. So everything that it's already know and is confident above 85%, it will convert. So I'll pick that. I'll pick that text as well. Okay. So it's done it. It already knows what the characters are. And because it's like repetition, so it's like 0 to 9, A to Z, then it'll only ask me for characters that it's not sure about. So I can pick more text. 9, that was 81%, but it still got it right. So it's now converted all of that. So what I can do now is if I turn off my raster layer, and just to show you, everything that's now there on the screen is now vector DWGs. So I can save that as a DWG, and now that's my converted file. Is there any questions? Anything anybody would like to know? Anything? Any chat? No? Everyone's quiet. I'll just quickly show you like the embed. So at the moment, if I was to save, sorry, if I do it on this one, if I was to save this file here, what we have is we have a combination of the CAD file and the TIFF file. So we have a file that's within the drawing. So what I want to do is I'll save the scanned image first. I'll stick it on my desktop. And then what we can do is there's a command called iEmbed. And what it will do is it will embed the image now into the DWG. So if I go back into my image manager, the image file's gone. It's not there anymore. So now I can say save. What's the common desktop? So I've now saved my DWG. So if I close that down, and then if I say open, if I then open up my embedded DWG, I can't do anything with it. It's still embedded. The image file's not there. So we have the option to say unembed or unembed all. And also, if I just say use a GTX command, say erase, it will prompt me to say there's an embedded image here. What do you want to do with it? Do you want to unembed it? So I say yes. Where do I want to unembed it? It chooses, we do have a default directory that we create where you can unembed files to. So I say save. So now what it's done, it's now taken that TIFF image out of the drawing, you can see what it is. I can then say erase. I'll just erase a big chunk of data. Then I can say, right, I'll save that, save it back to the overwrite the original. And then I can re-embed the image back into it. And then I can save that. And that's my new embedded image. So the embed function's very good at saving the ability, or not needing the ability, shall I say, to XREF drawings around. So you're just worried about one DWG file. Any questions?
No.
Cool.
I think, Gordon, it works only for with the Pro version of BricsCAD.
That's
Not
correct.
works
Yes,
with the
it doesn't work with the standard edition. No. I'm running it in Ultimate, so it works in Ultimate as well. So you got Pro and Ultimate. I did do a quick comparison because there are obviously other tools that are available on the market. ZWCAD have tried to introduce some vectorization tools within their ZWCAD products. There's only 3 commands. You can only do CAD or contour, and you can only do the whole image. There's no way that you can be selective, you can deskew, you can clean up, anything like that within the vectorization tools. It's very, very limited. Doesn't work very well because mine said as well that I can't do large images. So I don't know why they've done it, because obviously, you know, we are a developer for them. We have a product that runs within it. But I think they were just trying to add some more functionality to their product, which doesn't really work. And obviously the raster design product, I've listed sort of 12 advantages over from GTX compared to raster design. And like I say, one of our biggest and main strengths is the way that we can pick and manipulate the raster data. There are selection methods, and to pick a line, arc, circle, or how you pick the data. No one else can do that. So yeah, there are obviously, you know, pros and cons between the two, but to let you know, from our opinion, which is always, you know, in our favor, I guess, we have a lot of functionality in our product compared to anyone else that's available. So thank you.
Yeah, one query is there, Gordon, in the chat. While tracing the JPG, it will deviate the new drawn line or anything.
Tracing. Yeah, I mean, what we do is when we convert. So if I just convert something here, so if I say raster to vector and say, okay, I just want to convert this line. So I go from here to here. So I just want to convert that line. If I save the raster, what we do is we redraw the line over the top, and we try and go through the middle of the line so it's as accurate as it can be. So we don't do on the inside or the outside, but it does create a new line. So you're actually creating the line from the area that you selected on the drawing. And obviously for that instance, I saved the raster, but if I was to say pick another line, say this line from here to here, and say don't save, then it will just draw the line. It will just draw the new line over the top, take away the old line. Does that answer the question?
Baljeet sir, if possible, you can unmute yourself also.
Hi, sir, my point is that while demonstration, we are using very thick lines as a raster image. And what we feel is that we might not get so much thick lines from the customer end. So how do we ensure the accuracy of the drawing? That is it 1:1 drawing, or it may deviate because we are just tracing it?
Right. With the line itself, I mean, sometimes they are the same thickness on the drawing, depending on how it was scanned. But on say, for instance, this drawing here, you've got, I think there are some thinner lines and thicker lines. What we can do is, let me just open up this one again. This Q1. So for instance here, you've got thick lines and thin lines. So like I said a minute ago, the accuracy part of it is if I choose a line here and I choose this line here to convert, what we do is like I say, we select the center of the line for the accuracy. So it doesn't go on the inside or the outside. So on this line, the thinner line, it's in the center of it, and on the thick line, it's in the center. So we don't go above or below. We can also make the lines thicker. So we have a command called thicken, and I can say, right, pick this line here, and then how do I want to make it thicker? We have a table which is set up, so I can say, right, make it twice the size, so we can make it thicker.
Okay.
So we can actually, if you've got thin lines on the drawing, we can actually make them thicker so that it converts better.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Understood.
Okay. But no. Thank you very much for all your time. I hope you found it interesting. There are some videos on our YouTube channel showing some commands. There's tutorials within the software. So we have a support toolbar, and we also have it here. So within the software, there's like a help file, which will allow you to go through sort of all the commands. So what does that do? What does that do? What does that do? So we have a help file. We also have some tutorials, a quick reference guide, which is a list of all of the commands and then what they do. So you have the icon, the command, and what the command does. And then there's also like a user manual as well, as a PDF, which tells you what to do. So there's various documentation to help you work your way through the software. But all I would say is the main thing is when you do a command, it then says select the raster. So like arrays, it says select raster. If I do a move, select raster. So you have to do the command first before you can move on. I can't just say, right, okay, pick a line, because it's like, I don't know what it's doing. It's literally just drawing a line now, because that's what it's trying to do. So you need to be able to choose your command and then use any of these selection methods to pick the data that you want to manipulate. Obviously, if anybody has any questions, if anybody has any customers that would like to have a demonstration, would like any further information, obviously with Surab's help and his team, we can I can do demonstrations for you. I can do similar webinars for your customers so that it gives them a more of an idea about what the software will do. So I'm always available to assist.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gordon. I think this information provide the clear idea why this software is used in the industry, because as of now we have the tool where we are able to convert the vector data PDF to DWG. But this is a great tool where we are able to convert the raster image data as well in the DWG data.
Yes, yeah.
So I'm just sharing my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So everyone, if you have anything, any query, if you have, just let us know. Anything which you want to understand about the software, any particular query which you receive from the customer side, because it's still a lot of customer having their older data, which is actually in the scanned image data. And if they want to convert it into the DWG, then we have a great tool and which we can utilize it along with the BricsCAD software itself. So if you have anything or if you have any query, just feel free to unmute yourself or you can post the query in the chat section as well.